Well, here we are again with episode 9 of X-Men 97. I'm one of your hosts, VHS Jace, and next to me, of course, is the great Jason Roy Gaston, who, funnily enough, this whole channel was named after. Don't know how that happened, but it is.
I don't know. How did that happen? That's weird.
Wow. Episode 9, Jason.
Did you do that? Episode 9. Episode 9, oh so fine. Blew my mind.
Jason, I want you to spill your guts. I want you to spill your guts on your feelings of this episode.
It seems like every episode, the X-Men step in it a little bit more and a little bit more every day, and I'm absolutely loving it. Everything's blowing up in their face, basically. Every time something gets a little bit better, something else gets a little bit worse. Every time they take a step forward, somebody knocks them 2 steps back. It's like, look, Nightcrawler's on the team. Oh no, Remy's dead. This episode, so many surprises, so many twists and turns, so much glorious action, so much drama. I have only one major gripe about it. I think that they edited it out of order. Because during Scott and Jean's first scene with the professor in the ruined mansion, I can't remember which character says it, but they say, we have 12 hours before the world ends. Let's make this quick. And then in like a couple of scenes after that, they say, oh my gosh, in 12 hours, the magnetic field of the earth will be gone and civilization will die. And I'll be like, didn't they just say it was 12 hours?
I thought that was more.
Yeah, I thought that was him
referencing. I thought it was Scott because he says it the second time, referencing somebody else saying it previous scene, like supporting the discussion they had with Professor X. Because isn't it Professor X who goes, we've got 12 hours to go? And then Scott repeats it and then looks at him in the other scene. You could be right. I could be wrong. Vice versa.
I don't know. It just strikes me as something that they just edited wrong. Which, minor complaint, because this show has been spectacular, but I am about to ruin it for you. Are you ready for X-Men 97 to be ruined?
No.
Yes, we are. Here we go. I'm about to ruin X-Men 97 in 3, 2, 1.
Jerry. Hey,
you can never unhear it now.
You can't actually. I actually picked up on that. But, I didn't pick up on Jerry. You know who I picked up on? I felt like I was watching the guy from Fallout series. It's the same actor.
It's Chris Parnell. Chris Parnell does not do the voice of Cyclops in X-Men 97. That's not what we're saying. It's just there's a similarity between the voices. And now you're going to hear it. I just want to, at one point, I want there to be a character named Rick, just so he can look at him and go, Rick.
If I could do the old trope of trying to give one word to describe this episode, and I think it's appropriate for the whole season, unrelenting.
Yes.
It is so, it's just, like you explained correctly, there just seems to be, they don't have a moment to breathe because there's always something happening and the stakes are being raised. I mean, the way they finished it last week with Magneto knocking out the world, and now that we're dealing with that, wowee. I mean, some of the big highlights, Jason, just the interaction, this moment of dialogue between Magneto and Professor X. Like Professor X is on the jetty and Magneto is like basically expressing why he's taking the choice he's taking now. Mate, that's some really well-written emotional drama.
And he's flexing the entire time because he's holding all of Asteroid M above the X-Mansion. He's like, come on, Charles, argue with me. Go ahead, do it. Argue with me. I dare you.
and I don't think there's anything turning Magneto back now. We got our good Magneto for a little bit, but it ain't no more because it's kind of done.
Magneto is pretty much done with everything at this point.
But again, the writing, Jason, because do you blame him? Do you blame him?
No, I don't.
From his point of view, like, of course he's come to that realization. The same with Rogue, with her decision. She's justified in feeling like, actually, no, I won't say justified. It is understandable why she's doing and feeling like she is at the moment. Sunspot's
That makes the
decision.
best.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it. I get it.
Yeah.
It is
Probably
the
not as
best,
emotionally deep as
villain.
the other two. Yeah.
Well, I get it. The best villain is the kind of villain who is right in some ways. Now, is he doing things the right way? No, he's not. But he is definitely right in certain ways.
Yeah.
It's like Killmonger from Black Panther. Just terrifically well written. Magneto was right. They said it in the last episode. Magneto was right.
Right.
He's not doing things right, but he is right.
Yeah, you'd put that. Hey,
I'm just going to turn
look,
this into a meme show if you don't
yeah,
mind.
to a meme show. I've been noticing the memes starting to pop up on our production
Yep.
screen here. Look, a couple of things I wanted to mention. That asteroid is Asteroid M.
Asteroid M.
I
think the M stands for Magneto.
I would guess it's probably right. They also go to the X-Men return to their former base on Muir Island. So it's Muir, whatever.
And the old costumes. Some of them, yes. Others, no.
And of course, this has been all over the internet.
Yeah. Marvel Girl, no. Brown Wolverine, yes. Cyclops, no.
But there was a bit of audience out there and going, my God, Marvel Girl, yes. There would have been Marvel Girl fans out there who were thrilled with it. Me, not so much either. No, not at all. Gee, I was going to say something then. Now you've completely thrown me off.
Let me throw this up while you're thinking. Here you go.
Here we go.
Hey, y'all, I'm back. Why is Xavier back? Where's Bishop? Where's Gambit? Where's the baby? I leave for 5 minutes. Mommy should not leave the X-Men, Storm. Mommy needs to stay with the X-Men.
You know what I will say again, because I think the show's so well written, is the fact that when Professor X does come back, he's not universally accepted. And I really like that. I like that Scott was really challenging him about his decisions.
Definitely.
And and even like Rogue dismissed. Oh, Rogue, man, she cuts like a knife a couple of things she says to Professor X in this episode.
Yep. Throws Remy's coat at him too. She's like, here, boom, I'm got. Oh, girl.
Yeah, that was some real tough stuff. So Bastion takes a bit of a back seat in this one, becomes more just like a general villain at this point, I would say. If that was anything. Yeah.
Did love that opening scene where he's carrying his mother and he's crying. Because that got me thinking he didn't use her. He was upgrading her. He was maybe trying to save her, maybe trying to extend her life. He's a mama's boy. He doesn't want to lose his mama, and now he's lost his mama, and now the X-Men are in trouble.
I think it's a rule with X-Men 97 is no villain can appear on screen without at least a decent backstory now. You have to be able to sympathize. It's exactly what everyone wants. You want well-written, rounded, evil villains, and it works.
I spent the last few weeks theorizing that Cassandra Nova was going to show up, and I'm going to say I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah.
I really
You'll get to see her in a couple of months.
Oh, yeah. She's going to be in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, and she looks great.
She does look great. So we get to go back to they kind of take a step back to move forward in this episode, and it is represented with them wearing old costumes, going back to their previous base, also wiping out the mansion. I think you shouldn't overlook the importance of that either. I mean, that animated that version of that mansion has been around since the get-go, and it's gone.
Well, it's not like it's the first time it's been blown up or ruined or anything.
No,
let's not forget the Juggernaut. Ran through it at one point. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
However, I think now it has more meaning that maybe it did in the 90s in destroying
Perhaps. I mean, we did get Storm's great line about this was a home. This was a sanctuary. Incidentally, is the voice actresses for Storm and Rogue not just the best?
Oh, yeah.
They are so good. Too. Yes.
They have a moment together. and which was really nice. And I don't care what anyone says, I still like that black costume more. Love the black costume.
I like the white costume, but I'm getting I can see how people do like the white one.
Yeah. The whole now I don't have this clear in my head, but Jean sends a psychic message to Cyclops. Because her psychic powers are used really differently at the end of this episode, aren't they?
Yes, they
So
are.
let me get this straight. She's being attacked by what's his name?
Cable,
which is emotional in the end because now we've got a family dynamic happening, you know.
A weird family,
in that
but
moment,
it is a family dynamic, yes.
And and then Scott has to make. I mean, that's again when you talk about like stakes and tension and unrelenting drama, man, like those things there, which the episode wouldn't necessarily have needed to still be good, but it just takes that to the next level, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. I'm so invested in Jean and Cable's relationship. I'm really wondering where that's going to go, because Cable is not exactly the most touchy-feely guy, and Jean is all confused about who she is and what memories are all hers, and it's such a uniquely X-Men situation, and I'm here for it. I love it.
Now we're going to lead to the end of this episode. Before we get to the end of the shocking bit, I love the battle between when Magneto loses his helmet at one point, and Professor X, boom, I'm all over this, and then the flip of it, and what Magneto does was put his helmet on Professor X.
Yes, I thought that was really cool. That is
really smart.
Genius. Yeah, that's super
really smart. Yeah, which I absolutely love. But it does come down to, I reckon it's not even seconds of footage. I think it's frames of a second. We get to see one of the most shocking, well, not shocking, kind of, I said before the show, you'd expect it at some point, but wow, wasn't it brutal? Jason, what am I talking about?
Wolverine gets de-adamantiumed. It was a storyline in the comics. Magneto rips all of the adamantium out of Wolverine's bones, basically robs him of one of his superpowers. Which again, we're kind of seeing a return to a theme. How much do your powers define who you are as a person?
Wow,
I'm seeing that coming up.
Excellent.
I just want to. So that was the consequences of Wolverine shish kebabbing Magneto, which I was equally shocked at. I don't know why. We've seen X-Men 97 tackle some very mature issues, but to see Wolverine straight up murder someone was very shocking, and I was speechless at that moment. And they lingered on the blood on the claws. They lingered on Magneto's like, oh no, his expression, and the fact that he still pulls all the metal out of Wolverine's bones while bleeding out is a level of petty that I aspire to one day.
It's just so clever how they make the show, because they sell you in both those shocking moments that it's going to go one way, and they pull a trick on you twice within a couple of minutes, and you don't see it coming, because the whole thing is, oh my God, Magneto's done. Wolverine got him, and you think that's it, and it's not. That's the same thing with Professor X. You think it's going to go somewhere, but it's not.
Well, maybe now they'll get off of Rogue's back about, Rogue, we don't kill people. Meanwhile, Wolverine's back there, stab. These aren't made for silverware. Feral berserker.
It's faultless. Look, I'm going to put it there. This is probably the greatest X-Men animated season they've ever put together.
No
pure quality.
This season's been better than most of the movies. It's been some of the best X-Men content ever created in the visual medium.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it actually sets the bar for any film adaptation that they're currently working on.
Indeed, it does. And that's good.
That's good. It means we're going to get a very different X-Men movie. than
And
what
I'm
the previous
happy.
ones.
I'm
Yeah,
happy.
yeah, yeah. I don't hate the other X-Men films though, and I'll still say I enjoyed Dark Phoenix. So I don't hate them, but I'm ready for a fresh take on X-Men for sure. Hey, look,
Dark Phoenix sucked.
Apocalypse is horrible. No, it's not great, but it's not as horrible as everyone says. There's some good moments in it, and there's
Okay.
some dodgy moments.
Can we
It's
at
better
least
than
agree?
Apocalypse.
Can we at least agree that New Mutants is the absolute worst?
Yeah, that is. I don't even factor that in the universe, but it is. It
It
is.
is an X-Men movie, and it
Yes, it
was
is.
absolute dog excrement.
It was horrible. But yeah, yeah. Actually, the X-Men films titled X-Men, Apocalypse is the absolute worst. So
Disagree.
you don't like
It's
Apocalypse?
I don't think Apocalypse is that great,
Sorry.
but to me it is Dark Phoenix. Dark
Wow, we're
Phoenix
gonna
is
have to
the
cover
absolute
that
worst.
series one day, guys. Maybe on XXL, man. We'll have to one day go back and do the film adaptation.
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to do something in between seasons of this marvelous series. So we did
Absolutely.
have a commenter say, "Are we gonna go back to the original series?" And I was thinking, mayhaps we will. Mayhaps we
Perhaps
will.
we will. I think absolutely. I think if we're going to stay on X-Men animated series, it's probably a great time to look back before we go looking forward again. So
Yes, and of course
yeah.
we got X-Men. We got Wolverine in the X-Men. We have what
Well,
was that? X-Men.
yes.
We got X-Men Evolution.
Like
We
there's
have
so much X-Men content that was made in the early 2000s.
we even have Pride of the X-Men.
Yes. Like
And
there's a lot.
of course the X-Men appearance on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which
Yes.
Australian Wolverine.
Australian Wolverine, which he
Australian Wolverine.
in that time period, especially in the 70s, 80s, yeah, he was an Aussie.
Yeah. Which is weird.
That's why I
It's
always,
weird.
yeah, it was weird. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Would you rather
And they
be
hire an
Canadian or
Australian,
Aussie? I don't get yeah.
and they literally hire an Australian for the film and don't let him do an Australian accent.
I know. They don't let him
What
do a
the hell?
Canadian accent either.
Oh, by the way,
I want to see the MCU Wolverine do a Canadian accent. Just, hey, I'm going to like stab you, okay?
that'd be good, eh?
Hey.
um,
sorry.
sorry. That'd be pretty good. Look, I can't wait to see how this show finishes up next week. I'm sad, but I'm excited at the same time.
Well,
This is an unexpected
at least 2 more seasons ahead of us, and I know Disney's wanting to do more. So yeah, let's
well, we know
enjoy.
we know actually it's well into production, the second season.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we're going to be waiting super long. I think we'll probably get something early next year, maybe similar time as we got this year. But yeah, delicious. Hey, did you pick up on the nice little callback to the original X-Men film that they did?
I did.
Just like the internet.
What were you expecting? Black leather? Perfect. Absolutely.
It's a nice roundabout kind of way to kick back at them, you know, because what has everyone been freaking out about? Oh my god, Wolverine in comic uniform in the new movie. Like everyone's been loving that.
So beautiful. It's so beautiful. I can't wait to see the mask. I know we've seen the popcorn bucket with the mask, but I want to see the mask in action.
Yeah, me too. Me too. There's already a guy on the internet who photoshopped it into that scene where he's walking around. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. Yeah. Which, you know, we haven't really discussed, but I think, Jason, when we go and see Deadpool and Wolverine, that if we're going to review it, this is the place, right?
Yes.
Kind of is. So we'll be looking forward to that because we'll do a big one on that one. So I have a feeling we won't be just seeing it once.
Oh, no.
You know, I mean,
I may be on the road whenever that movie premieres, but believe me, I'll find a nice Canadian movie theater to duck into, and I will watch that sucker.
Every time Wolverine's like, good Canadian kid, eh? Which is brilliant. All right, which is kind of already because Ryan Reynolds is Canadian, but he's not Canadian as Deadpool, but his Australian friend is playing a Canadian.
Yeah, he's more Canadian than Hugh Jackman, though.
Yes, 100%. All right, guys, that was X-Men episode 9 already.
Episode 9.
Episode 9. If you want to
9.
know what the title was of it, it was Tolerance Extinction Part 2. So
Yes, that's the one between 1 and 3.
Yep. Bring it on. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Again, please support the channel. If you like what we're doing, I'll question why. But either way, I'll be thankful. And I want you to help support this man here and a little bit to me by doing what?
Please consider joining our Patreon. You can find more information in the link in the description below. You can join for as little as $5 a week and you get extra perks. So please slip us some cash, my good friend. Slip us some cash.
Now, the date is today, the 8th of May. You are currently, Jason, in the running to be Australia's favourite teacher. You've battled through some minor rounds. Did I say Australia's?
You said Australia's favorite teacher. Hey, you know what? Whatever country I can get.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think you're kind of like an Aussie at heart. There you go.
Absolutely.
You know what they say about Australians? We're just English Texans.
That's right.
Either way, America's favorite teacher. And you battled through some rounds. You got some lower rounds. You got to the quarterfinals. You made it way through to the wild card round. And now it's a battle royale.
It is a battle royale, and let me just say, I'm getting the adamantium ripped out of me.
That's why we need to pull the troops.
So if you would, please go to my website, jasonroygaston.com, and throw me a vote for America's favorite teacher. I would appreciate it.
Absolutely. Go check out all these social.
If I'm going to lose, at least let me lose with dignity, not 8th place. 8th place is really not that great.
And what Ricky Bobby says, mate, if you ain't first, you're last.
Unless you're, 7th place, then at least you got 8th place behind you. Wolverine, short Canadian and very mean. He's got claws in his fists. His name is on his list. Look out. He is the Wolverine.